Hi, my name is Melody Shaw and I'd like to introduce you to a book by Anna Gröger called Hi, I'm Death Jr., but you can call me Frida. It's originally published in German by Deutsche Taschenbuchverlag and seeking a publisher in English. It's the story of an 11-year-old boy called Samuel who was born with a compromised immune system and has spent his entire life so far in hospital. But he's now being given a treatment that will enable him to go home and lead a normal life. Unfortunately, when he gets home, there's a young girl called Frida there, who only he can see. And rather worryingly, she's wearing a dark hooded cloak and carrying a scythe. She introduces herself as Death's apprentice, and as part of her training, she's been assigned to Samuel to find out what life as a human being is really like. So this excerpt that I'm going to read you now is from the very beginning of the book, where Samuel is still in hospital. This is a matter of life and death. No mistakes. Electrodes correctly positioned? Check. ECG functioning correctly? Check. Stopwatch at the ready? Check. All clear. We are good to go. I must admit, I'm slightly nervous. Some things make me anxious every time, no matter how often I've done them. Emergency drills are one. My stomach is rumbling, even though there's nothing in it except this morning's tea swilling about. Or is it? It's probably passed further along and is now speeding through my kidneys. Bound to arrive in the bladder soon. I can feel the pressure increasing already. Heart hammering. There's no fooling an ECG. The waves are racing across the monitor. Each wave is a heartbeat. The faster my heart beats, the more waves it produces, like a storm at sea. When the heart is hammering, life is especially exciting, or anxiety-ridden. On the other hand, if there are no waves, you're almost certainly dead. Lights out. The room is dark. All I can see is the outlines of the furniture. I drop gently into the armchair. One more deep breath, and then with a single tug, I tear the electrodes from my chest. The waves on the monitor get smaller. The electrodes can no longer sense a heartbeat. The waves shrink until there is nothing left, just a flat line. The ECG sets off a frantic beep, 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 and I start my stopwatch. It takes precisely 23 seconds before the door opens and someone comes charging into the room. No idea who it is, but it's not a good start. There's a brief clatter and then a scream. It's Nurse Ada. In her attempts to fumble for the light switch, she's crashed into the drawer I deliberately left open. Ada is wheezing on the floor. I can see her outline as she tries to stand up, but immediately falls over again. Liquid soap. I smeared it across the floor. Shortly before a heart attack, the patient will often vomit. It's not actually difficult to get hold of genuine vomit in a hospital, but please, how revolting is that? And terribly unhygienic. Ada's done it. She stood up and is feeling her way around the room. Unbelievable. After so many years in this hospital, her orientational skills are still lousy. She still hasn't reached the bed containing the emergency patient. Lovingly constructed by myself out of blankets and pillows. At this pace, hope is fading fast, along with the patient. 2 minutes and 5, 6, 7, 8 seconds. Finally, Ada reaches the bed and switches off the alarm. I stop the clock and flick on the light. My face, a picture of reproach. You were too slow, Ada. Again. Ada's face has turned red. Too slow? Me? I've only had 2 fatalities this month. I'm awesome. I can only shake my head at such a lack of critical self-awareness. She just doesn't seem to grasp the gravity of the situation. Ada, 2 fatalities are far from awesome. That's 2 too many. I note Ada's finishing time on my tablet. She remains unmoved. Oh, 2 fatalities out of 10 emergency drills is not bad at all. That drawer, by the way, was a proper dirty trick. And so was the soap. It was a realistic scenario, I correct her. Forgotten drawers and vomit on the floor are hazards you should figure on. Ah, well, Ada grins. I never did have a head for figures. You know that. Oh yes, I know. Otherwise, Ada would realise that a ratio of 2 out of 10 means a patient in her care has a 20% probability of dying. That's shockingly high. But it's best I don't tell her that. 6 months ago, I presented Ada with a list of her professional shortcomings, all neatly recorded, all the things she was doing wrong and the things she could do better. She didn't talk to me for 2 days. And she let me die 3 times in the emergency drills. 1 bleeding to death, 1 poisoning, and 1 stroke. Some people just can't take criticism. Now I'm wondering how to tell her she urgently needs to exercise more and eat fewer chocolates. The look on my face says more than 1,000 words. You think I've got too fat? I'm not entirely sure this isn't a trick question, and that Ada won't rip my head off on the spot if I say yes. Well, you haven't got any quicker over the years. So I'm fat and old? This discussion is not moving in a constructive direction. Thanks for listening.